Did you know that over 75% of beginner riders develop at least one habit that could lead to a serious crash? These aren't just rookie mistakes. They're silent killers that form in your first year and become muscle memory. In this video, we're breaking down 12 beginner habits that cause more accidents than crashes, weather, or mechanical failures combined. Fix them now, before they end your riding career or your life. At number 12, target fixation turns small problems into big crashes. Your eyes can get you killed, literally. Target fixation is the deadliest beginner habit, and most riders don't even know they're doing it. You see a pothole, a guardrail, or an oncoming car, and instead of looking for a way out, your eyes lock onto the threat like a heat-seeking missile. Your body follows, and suddenly, you're heading straight for the crash you were trying to avoid. It's not stupidity, it's human instinct. But on a motorcycle, instinct can be fatal. Veteran riders train themselves to do the opposite. Look where you want to go, not where you don't. When you spot danger, shift your gaze toward the escape route. Your peripheral vision will still catch the threat, but your focused vision will guide the bike safely around it. Practice this on every ride. Start with potholes, manhole covers, or road debris, then build up to high-speed cornering. The more you train your vision, the more automatic it becomes. One mistake of the eyes can end your ride, but this next habit, it keeps you from stopping in time, even if you see the danger coming. At number 11, using only rear brake creates dangerous stopping distances. You're riding through traffic, a car slams the brakes, and your only reaction is to stomp the rear pedal. Bad move. Rear brake alone won't stop you in time. It's a deadly habit that gives you a false sense of control while stealing the stopping power you actually need. Most beginners default to the rear brake because it feels familiar. Like slowing a bicycle, it's less intimidating than the front lever, which many fear will flip the bike or lock the front wheel. But here's the truth. Your front brake provides over 70% of your total stopping power. Ignoring it can double your stopping distance. And that extra space? It's the crash zone. Modern motorcycles have progressive brake systems that reduce front lockup risks when used correctly. The key isn't avoiding the front brake, it's mastering it. Train in an empty lot. Begin with light rear pressure and gently squeeze the front. Increase the front brake gradually while backing off the rear. Smoothness is everything. Aim for a 70-30 split during emergency stops. Confidence comes from repetition, not hope. Bad braking slows you down, but bad gear, that leaves you completely exposed when the crash happens. At number 10, wearing inadequate protective gear guarantees injury. You wouldn't slide across asphalt in your underwear, but that's basically what you're doing when you ride in a t-shirt and sneakers. New riders often skip proper gear because it's too expensive or too uncomfortable, but that decision turns minor accidents into lifelong injuries. At highway speeds, the only thing between your skin and the pavement is what you're wearing. And if it's a cotton shirt or ripped jeans, prepare for weeks in a hospital bed with skin grafts, exposed nerves, and permanent scarring. Minimum protection means a full-face helmet, armored motorcycle jacket, long pants, gloves, and over-the-ankle boots. Leather or abrasion-resistant textile materials prevent skin loss. Armor absorbs impact, and helmets? They reduce your risk of dying by up to 37%. Half helmets, joggers, and canvas shoes do nothing in a real crash. Your skull will crack, your skin will shred, and no amount of regret will fix it afterward. Yes, good gear costs money, but hospital bills cost more, and used gear from trusted brands often offers better protection than cheap new gear. Comfort? Real riders get used to it. After a few rides, real gear feels natural, and riding without it feels reckless. Gear protects your skin, but following too closely, that erases your reaction time and puts your life in someone else's hands. At number 9, following too closely eliminates reaction time. Riding too close to the car in front of you might feel normal until they slam the brakes and you have nowhere to go. New riders often keep the same following distance they used in cars, forgetting that motorcycles stop differently. You've got less tire contact, less stability, and zero protection in a crash. Cars benefit from 4 wheels, anti-lock systems, and crumple zones. You don't. which means you need more time and more space. The typical 3-second rule from driving? For motorcycles, make it 4 seconds. At minimum, pick a fixed object ahead. When the car in front passes it, start counting. If you reach it in less than 4 seconds, back off. At 60 miles per hour, you're covering 88 feet per second, so a 2-second gap disappears in the blink of an eye. Bad weather? Increase the gap. Wet roads double stopping distance. Fog or night? Slow down even more. Your eyes need time to process hazards. Yes, aggressive drivers will try to squeeze into your lane. Let them. One car cutting in is better than you rear-ending them at full speed. Following distance buys you time, and time is survival. But even with time and space, your body position can still sabotage every turn you take. At number 8, poor cornering. Body position reduces control and safety. Cornering should feel smooth, but for many beginners, it feels like a fight. Instead of working with physics, they wrestle their bike through turns, sitting stiff and upright while the motorcycle leans beneath them. The result? Wobbly lines, early panic, and crashes that never should have happened. Good body position transforms your ride. It lowers your center of gravity, improves grip, and gives you total control, even in fast or sharp corners. Here's the fix. Lean with the bike, not against it. Keep your head level and your eyes focused through the turn, where you want to go, not at the ground. This gives your brain the balance it needs to stabilize the bike. Now look at your feet. Your inside foot should stay firm on the peg. Don't stick it out like a motocross rider. That's a great way to catch a foot on the road and lose control instantly. Use your outside knee to grip the tank. This anchors your body and helps guide the bike without fighting it. Practice in parking lots with slow figure eights until it becomes muscle memory. Body position is a skill, and like any skill, it takes reps. Nail your corners, but watch out, because your next big threat isn't in the road. It's in someone's blind spot. At number 7, ignoring blind spots gets you crushed by cars. You're riding calmly, minding your lane. Then a car suddenly swerves over and you're nearly pinned. The driver never saw you. And that's the problem. New riders often assume they're visible simply because they can see the car, but motorcycles vanish in blind spots, areas car mirrors just don't cover. If you're in that invisible zone, you're one lane change away from disaster. Car blind spots extend from just behind the side mirrors to nearly one full car length back. If you're riding in that zone, drivers merging left or right will never know you're there until it's too late. It gets worse with SUVs and trucks. Their blind spots are massive, enough to swallow entire cars, let alone a slim motorcycle. Never linger beside large vehicles. Either fall back or move ahead. Here's a rule. If you can't see the driver's face in their mirror, they can't see you either. Adjust your speed or lane position to stay visible. Slight shifts, like riding to the left third of your lane, can dramatically improve your presence in their mirror. And if you're riding at night or in heavy traffic, consider flashing your high beam or using headlight modulation to catch attention. Smart riders stay out of blind spots because once you're there, you're invisible and expendable. At number 6, jerky throttle control makes everything harder. Your right wrist might be the smallest part of your body, but it has the biggest impact on how your bike handles. And for most new riders, it's a wrecking ball. Instead of smooth inputs, beginners often treat the throttle like a light switch, on or off. That jerky motion upsets your suspension, kills tire grip, and turns every maneuver into a guessing game. Here's what really happens. Snap the throttle open, and the weight shifts to the rear, lifting the front wheel and making steering vague. Chop it shut, and weight slams forward, risking a rear wheel lockup or a wobble you can't control. This becomes especially dangerous when exiting corners. Smooth, progressive throttle lets you power out safely, but if you're abrupt, you can break traction and end up sliding on your side. Practice matters. Find an empty lot, ride slow, focus on keeping a consistent speed without twitchy inputs. Think rolling on the throttle, like gently turning a volume knob, not yanking it like a video game trigger. Once you master throttle control, everything else gets easier. Braking, cornering, even balance. But even perfect control won't save you if your tires are betraying you from below. At number 5, ignoring tire pressure kills handling and safety. Most new riders never check tire pressure until something goes wrong, but incorrect pressure destroys handling, increases tire wear, and creates dangerous riding conditions. Proper tire pressure affects every aspect of motorcycle performance, from cornering grip to braking distance. Underinflated tires create mushy handling, poor fuel economy, and excessive heat buildup that can cause tire failure at highway speeds. Overinflated tires reduce contact patch size, decreasing grip and creating harsh ride quality that reduces control over road irregularities. Check tire pressure when tires are cold before riding using an accurate gauge. Tire pressure increases as tires heat up during riding, so hot pressure readings give false information. Most motorcycles require different front and rear pressures listed in the owner's manual or on frame stickers. Temperature changes affect tire pressure significantly. Cold weather reduces pressure while hot weather increases it. Monitor pressure weekly during temperature swings and adjust accordingly. A 10-degree temperature change can alter pressure by 1 to 2 pounds per square inch. Proper tire pressure extends tire life, improves fuel economy, and provides optimal handling characteristics. Underinflated tires wear faster on the edges, while overinflated tires wear in the center. Tire pressure affects handling, but this positioning mistake puts you in maximum danger. At number 4, poor lane positioning puts you in maximum danger. New riders often center themselves in lanes like cars, but motorcycles need strategic positioning for maximum visibility and safety. Lane positioning changes constantly based on traffic, road conditions, and potential hazards. Understanding lane position strategy keeps you visible and provides escape routes. The lane divides into 3 sections: left third, center third, and right third. Each position serves specific purposes depending on surrounding conditions. Center positioning works for open roads, but traffic situations require strategic positioning for safety and visibility. Move to the left third when passing parked cars to avoid opening doors. Shift to the right third when approaching oncoming traffic to increase separation distance. Use center position when following vehicles to maintain maximum visibility in their mirrors. Avoid riding directly behind cars where you're invisible and have no escape routes. Offset positioning improves your visibility while providing space to maneuver around sudden stops or obstacles. Change positions smoothly without sudden movements that might surprise other drivers. Practice lane positioning during every ride until position changes become automatic responses to changing conditions. Good positioning prevents accidents before they develop, while poor positioning creates dangerous situations that require emergency reactions. How many of these dangerous beginner habits have you been unconsciously practicing? Let us know in the comments which ones surprised you most. At number 3, riding beyond your skill level creates inevitable crashes. New riders often attempt maneuvers or speeds that exceed their current abilities, creating dangerous situations where crashes become inevitable. Confidence builds faster than skill, leading to poor decisions that end in accidents. Honest skill assessment prevents most single-vehicle crashes. Group rides often pressure new riders to exceed their comfort zones to keep up with experienced riders. This peer pressure leads to cornering speeds, following distances, and route choices that overwhelm beginner skill levels. Ride your own ride regardless of group pressure. Track days provide safe environments for skill development without public road consequences. Professional instruction accelerates learning while identifying skill gaps that need work. Street riding should never serve as primary skill development due to traffic and hazard variables. Progressive skill building requires deliberate practice of specific techniques in controlled environments. Master basic skills before attempting advanced maneuvers. Cornering, braking, and swerving require separate practice sessions to develop properly. Weather conditions, unfamiliar roads, and traffic density all reduce your effective skill level temporarily. Adjust your riding accordingly when any of these factors change. What feels comfortable on familiar roads in perfect weather becomes dangerous in new conditions. Overconfidence kills riders, but this maintenance habit creates mechanical failures that kill too. At number 2, skipping regular maintenance creates dangerous failures. Your engine seizes, your chain snaps, your brakes vanish the moment you need them, all because you skipped basic maintenance. New riders often delay service to save time or money, but motorcycles demand more care than cars. Higher RPMs, tighter tolerances, and exposed components mean skipped maintenance turns minor issues into life-threatening failures. Start with the oil. Unlike cars, your bike uses the same oil for the engine, transmission, and clutch. Let it degrade, and you're risking metal-on-metal damage that can destroy your engine from the inside out. Follow the factory intervals, no exceptions. Chains? They're your bike's lifeline. If it's dirty, dry, or loose, it can snap mid-ride or jump the sprocket, locking the rear wheel and throwing you off. Clean and lubricate it every 500 miles or sooner in wet conditions. Brakes? The fluid absorbs moisture over time, reducing stopping power and corroding internal parts. Replace it every year, even if the bike barely moves. And don't forget the battery. If it dies, so do your lights, dash, and ignition. Maintenance isn't optional, it's survival. But no matter how perfectly your bike runs, if you freeze in a real emergency, it might be your last ride. At number 1, never practicing emergency stops guarantees. Panic when you need them. The most dangerous beginner habit is never practicing emergency stops until you need them in real traffic. When emergencies happen, you'll react exactly how you've trained. And if you've never trained, you'll panic. Emergency stop practice saves lives by creating automatic responses. Maximum braking requires specific techniques that feel unnatural without practice. Progressive front brake pressure, light rear brake contact, and body positioning all work together for shortest stopping distances. These techniques must become muscle memory before emergencies occur. Anti-lock braking system. Motorcycles require different techniques than traditional brakes. You can apply maximum brake pressure immediately without fear of wheel lockup, but the brake lever feel differs dramatically from non-anti-lock braking system bikes. Practice with your specific brake system. Emergency stops from different speeds require practice to understand your motorcycle's capabilities. Stopping from 30 miles per hour feels completely different from stopping from 60 miles per hour. Practice various speeds in safe environments like empty parking lots. Mental preparation matters as much as physical technique. Visualize emergency scenarios and your responses during every ride. When real emergencies develop, prepared riders react automatically, while unprepared riders freeze or panic. Breaking these 12 habits transforms dangerous beginners into safe, confident riders. Start with the most dangerous habits first, then work through the entire list systematically. Like this video if it helped identify your bad habits. Subscribe for more life-saving riding tips, and comment which habit you need to work on first. Next, the gear mistakes that mark you as a total beginner.